What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy ATruckerNamedJay checking in. I'm in the bedroom and I'm chilling, you know what I mean? I ain't got no angle, I ain't got no fancy camera. I'm just chilling, man, on this Memorial Day holiday. Probably about to go make me some steaks in a minute, chilling, regular, you know. But I got something I want to speak on, man. And I was thinking about it over the weekend, and I really just couldn't find the time. Really don't have time now, but I'm doing it. Really couldn't find the time to address what I wanted to speak on in this video. And I wanted to take my time because I didn't want to make it seem like I was being super aggressive. But at the same time, I got to speak on it, man, because it weighed heavy on me. So I was on Trucker Brown's live feed on, I think it was his Patreon. So you guys probably won't be able to see it unless you're a Patreon supporter of his. I am currently not. I just haven't done it yet. I'm sorry, TB. I know I'm a bad friend. But anyways, we were having a conversation, and we were speaking on the 1099 situation. I kind of came in late on it. You know, I got a link, and I just went in there. And I think it was me, D-Raj, Low, TB, Just Phil, and Law. And we were kind of just speaking on the 1099 and is it legit, and we was in just speaking on 1099 more or less. And Law made a comment. I think he said something to the effect of, well, first he was speaking down on 1099. He was saying he don't understand. I think he was saying he don't understand why people would do a 1099 without I don't know if it was him. I forgot who said it, to be honest with you. Somebody said, I guess, it might have been in the comments. I don't know, I'm all over the place. But anyways, somebody said something to the effect of they don't understand why people would do 1099 and they don't have anything to write off, right? They don't have anything, they're basically setting us, because the perception is that as a 1099 quote unquote company driver, you don't have the expenses to write off anything. So you don't have the truck payment, you're not paying for fuel, you're not paying for maintenance. These are things that, yes, they're nice that you don't have to pay for, but when it comes to the taxation, you got to pay for your own taxes. You don't have anything to claim, which means you might get hit for a cajillion dollars. Like, you're going to make $70,000, you're going to pay $40,000 tax. That's the way that they selling it to people. And that's nobody in specific. That's a general perception that I've heard over the years. Now, where Law come in, where I remember specifically, he said something to the effect of, if you are W-2, I can't even have a conversation with you. Like, and I know he was saying it in jest and joking or whatever. But I do just, the way I move now, I like to try to use everything as a teaching moment, right? So, I just want to take the time to let people know two things. Number one, never get too big for your britches, man. For a long time, I moved like that. You understand? Where I would elevate fairly quickly, whether it's financial or, maybe I thought it was a professional, when I went from one thing to another, I thought it was an elevation. And I would immediately start shitting on and talking down on positions that I just did, whether it was a local job, regional, company driver. At one point, I called company drivers slaves, and just, I'm just here to tell you from my experience what I did. Don't do that. Because you never know. You guys have watched me for the last 4 or 5 years. You know how up and down this shit can go. And so to get in a position to speaking down on people, and I'm not saying this is what Law was doing, but I can see how someone can take it as that. I definitely can. The way he said it, the tone that he said it in. And I just want us to be careful with that, because that can really start affecting people's decision process. We have to understand the power that we do have. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. Yes, we're not celebrities. We're not big time A-list celebrities, but we do have an influence over the people who tend to watch our videos. So if we come out and say something, if it ain't one person may be influenced by what we say. So when we have that ability, we have that power, It's a responsibility that comes with it, to where we have to put out accurate information. We have to put out, you know, information that isn't solely based on personal preference. You understand? Because just because we wouldn't do something and we can't understand, there are thousands, if not millions, of other peoples who are complete opposites of us who would. So, just from my own personal experience, from what I've learned, my only lesson from that situation is just be careful in how you say things, and what you mean by them. Because I promise y'all, for everything that you say that you wouldn't do, there's somebody out here who's doing it and making more money than you, who's doing it and is more successful than you, who's doing it and smarter than you, and who's doing it and got less experience than you. That's just the game, man. Some people just catch on quicker. Some people just find different niches and things. I know people who would never go to the port. I know people, the guy who has the biggest fleet that I know of runs his fleet out of the port. You know what I mean? So it's so many different ways to do things that we just got to really be careful in how we say things, and not say it in a way that would discourage someone from doing something that could potentially change their whole situation, change their whole life. And that's all I wanted to address with that. You know, ain't no beef, no drama. I just, as I get older, I just try to be more respectful to others' viewpoints. You know, I wasn't always that way. You know, it was like, look, if you don't look at it the way I look at it, fuck you. And I'm trying to, as again, you know, that's more of a young man mentality to me. That's on some gang shit. If you ain't with the gang, fuck you. You know what I mean? We grown ups, we businessmen. You know, it's profitable to be open to different opportunities. It's profitable to, you know, be uncomfortable doing some things. You know, that's just my opinion. Now, as far as 1099 as a company driver, contractor, whatever, anybody who would tell you that it's not worth it either hasn't done it or done it and failed at it, in my personal opinion. You would be surprised at the amount of truck drivers that are out here working from home. I mean, excuse me, not working from home, but working locally, working regionally, and working OTR that are 1099 contractors and are doing just fine. Just fine. I would almost argue that 50% of companies out of Chicago, if not more, are all 1099. It is a very normal practice that's been going on for years. And I think that the people who have complaints about it just did it wrong, didn't know what they were doing when they got into it. And instead of taking some accountability for throwing themselves into a situation they weren't really comfortable or familiar with, they just blamed the actual, oh man, I lost all my money because it was 1099. You know what I mean? And I just think that we gotta, again, you know, perception. You know, perception becomes reality, especially in trucking, man. Once somebody puts something out there, and if they got a couple subscribers, that thing get a couple views, get a couple shares, and it's like wildfire, man. So we got to start nipping shit in the bud when we hear things that are just wrong, or we just know the contrary. Like if I know for a fact that there are people out here who are making over $70,000 1099, and they're not paying more than a certain amount of money on taxes, you know, I just can't agree with anybody who would say that, oh, you know, you're going to do this and you're going to pay. And listen, man, I'm not a tax professional, so I'm not going to get into the specifics of any tax information. But all I'm going to tell you is that get you a CPA, get you an LLC or so, whatever kind of business you want to get a business account. And here's how it should go. Whatever carrier that you are working for should be paying your business account. Then your business account should be paying you. That's how it should be going. That's how it should look on paper. It should not be looking like, if you're a 1099 contractor, it should not look like carrier is paying John Doe. That's incorrect. And if you're doing it that way, then you're going to be in a lot of trouble at the end of the year. That's why I tell all my drivers, I tell anybody who's interested in 1099, first thing I tell them to do, get a business account and get a CPA. Because none of us are tax professionals. So the minute someone try to get into the realm of trying to tell you what to write off. I'll never do that because that can be real tricky. You know what I mean? Pay a professional. It's just that simple, man. Stop taking tax advice from people who owe the government money. Stop taking tax advice from people who don't even know how to do their own taxes. People watch 3 tax videos. Now they think that they are fucking, you know what I mean? Hire a professional. And I promise you will see that this is not it's not as scary as you think it is, man. And again, I have no issue with nobody. You know, this ain't no beef, this ain't no drama. I just don't want the wrong type of information to be put out there, because there is a lot of money, excuse me, to be made out here in this trucking game. A lot of money to be made. You know, and you know, I just don't want nobody to miss out on an opportunity to make said money because of bad information, or, you know, personal opinions from people who may not have the right experience. You know, they may have failed. So, you know, that's all I got to say, man. I hope this video isn't taken in a negative way. But, you know, it is what it is. The truth is the truth, man. We just got to be educated before we speak. And we just got to make sure that we putting out, you know, good information that can be supported by facts. If not, then we just enter into this realm of people just saying things because they feel that it's right, and it just becomes a back and forth that never ends, and nobody benefits from it. You know what I mean? And I don't want that. You know, I want everybody to eat. I want everybody to learn. If you have different preferences, then that's cool. But to then turn and use those preferences to demean someone else, to say, I would never do that. You know, that's where you it kind of gets tricky. It's a double-edged sword at that point. So I just hope that we don't continue to do that, man. That's just my hope. But what do I know, man? I'm just some dumbass that works from home and probably making more than all y'all. But it is what it is, man. I'm gonna get up off here. As always, y'all know the vibes. Stay safe, stay positive, stay productive. God Family Trucking. Check you guys next video, man. Happy Memorial Day, man. I'm gone.